Hi there, I'm Tom and this is part 4 of how to build a lobster pot. Sorry for the delay, it's been a busy year. It took me a while to actually get sat down to show you guys this. So we'll pick up where we left on part 3, and you'll need 28 mesh long piece of shooter, which I've got here. What we're going to do, you're going to put a clove hitch on this corner here, and as you can see there, thread your twine through the bottom row of your meshes, and you're going to put another clove hitch in this corner here, and this. Pull that twine nice and tight. From here you're going to have to just lock that off. Straightforward, not there. Just always put a knot in the end of your twine before you cut it. Put that off there. Nice and tight again. Lock it off again. Okay. What we need to start doing here now then is start lacing this shooter up the sides and along your side sticks. Simple 2 half hitches, like so, and like that, again, and then straight on to the next one, next mesh. Okay, so we're going to carry on fastening this shooter to the side sticks here, like I said, with 2 half hitches. Work your way around. Every 2 or 3 meshes that you fasten on, I like to put a lock knot in, just in case that twine scrubs. The whole side won't come undone. So I'll just do a couple more for you. So, and up here, working on this side stick. 2 half hitches. So, lock that 3rd one off. And carry on working right the way along as I've done on the other side, and then you should end up with it all nicely finished off on there. Now the next thing to do to make it easier for yourself is fasten in your sash weights. As you can see there, I've used some pop rubber off a pellet. Fasten the bottom in first, put it over your sash weight, and then nail it down from the top there, and that pulls it nice and tight on there. You put them in first before stapling these in. You can get in easier with your hammer. So that's what I would do. So get your pot weights in first, and then staple your sides down on here. As you can see on here, I've got a smaller weight in the front than in the back. There's a reason for that. That allows me to get my strop in through the gap in my end two planks on my bottom there. If you get it through there without going over the top, you've got less chance of it scrubbing. It's just a bit tidier as well. So I just put the small weight in the front and the big one at the back. So this stage now is where we should be at there. Okay, now I'm just going to show you the next one, how to put in these panels here. Now, you can either do it two ways. You can either cut shooter, as you've done the top in, to the right side, to the right size, and just lace it in, like you have done with the shooter. I prefer to braid them in by hand. I think personally it looks a bit tidier. That's my effort, as you can see. And also, it doesn't take me any longer at all to braid it in. It's probably a little bit quicker for me. And you use a bit less twine, I think. So I prefer to braid them in. So that's how I'm going to show you how to do it. But if you want, feel free just to cut some shoot to the size. So that's where we're going to show you next. Off. In the left hand corner. Lock. In there. Nice and tight. You just have to, like so, start braiding in a row on the top onto your top side stick. When you do that, like I did with the spouts, always put a lock nut on, because otherwise your knot will come undone. Because with alkathene piping and it being quite a thick side stick, your twine, if you don't lock it off, it tends to move and wobble about, and you'll just end up with messy meshes. Okay. I just get a nice even mesh. On the first mesh I always make it about a 2 finger width, because remember it's only a half mesh is your top row. So you want about 4 on this top row really for a 3-inch mesh. Like so there. Got this one off. And then from there, we're going to come to this corner here, because you're going to get onto the level of that bottom to join onto it on the next row. So you're going to have to clovetch onto here, and you're going to have that one nice and tight there. Make sure nothing can get through that corner. Clovetch him on, so, and then you're ready to start working again. This time just over 3 fingers. My hands are quite small, like so. And again, you have to clovetch onto here. Sometimes get a good push through. Make sure you always get that clovetch level with the bottom of the next mesh. Otherwise all your meshes will look higgledy-piggledy. Pull him down like that. Float that one off if I can get in. And then back again. And we're just going to carry on doing that all the way to the bottom of the panel. Should be somewhere near then. There we go. Right, we'll carry on to the bottom. Right then, this is the stage we should be at now. You can see I've finished this panel here, and I've put this panel in here as well. On here, you can see the last row, I've put it half a mesh size to keep the meshes tight. I've done half a mesh, and then I've also run the twine back down, as you can see there. That makes sure that these meshes don't move side to side. If they're too long, the bottom rows, they tend to wobble. So I always pull the last row in a nice smaller mesh and then run my twine back through. Same on this side, so that's your 2 panels done. Next I'll be showing you how to do the door. I've already just popped the easy bit in to save some time. Now your door panel needs to be 15 meshes long, 5 meshes deep. You want 5 meshes at this side and 10 meshes at this side here. So 5 meshes, and then 10 meshes. Lock a clove hitch off here with your twine. Run it through the bottom row of mesh on your shooter. Clove hitch onto this middle one after 5, and then after another 10 you'll be at the end, and clove hitch it to here. Staple it down just like you've done the rest of the pot, and then you'll end up with that. Okay, all I've done, another piece of alkathene piping about 28 inches long. Drill a hole in each end there, same at the other end, and just tie it in. Make sure that pipe can't slide out there, and you'll end up with a door like so. Now I'm going to show you the tricky part now, but it's the most critical part, because you don't want all your catch getting out. I'm going to put the sides on the doors, the runners. So we're going to start off, slide your twine through, back in this corner. Once we're at the bottom of the corner, between the rubber that you've just stapled down with, that end rubber wants to be nice and tight close to this side of this door. This just stops the twine sliding up. So tie a knot in it like so. Pull that tight. You then want to run to the end meshes until you found, like so, you're near the top. You can see where my last one is there. So that's about right. And always when you go to the top and tie it onto your side stick, you want to be going underneath here. If you go over the top, for example, and pull that tight, I don't know if you can see, look at the gap there that you end up with, which is there. If you go over the top, you'll end up with a big gap there. So you want to be going through the bottom. Like so, go to the inside of the stick, and that will make the run nice and tight. Gap between there, make sure nothing can get through. Right. And it's critical you get this nice and tight. Okay. Just get my foot off here. And that is one side to your door. As you can see, it's a bit tighter. Now on your end ones, additionally, we're going to tie a band around there. The end doors do not need to open right the way to the bottom to there. They don't need to. They need to come to about here. your middle one will drop to the bottom and it'll still give you enough space. Okay then, this is the door complete. 2 hooks on, just a bit of bungee elastic on there, nothing special. You see there, I've just put a bit of twine in there, stop it coming all the way down, but the bottom one, you see there, loads of room to get in. And on this side there as well, there's a bit of twine on there, stop that one coming all the way down. That just stops them trying to work their way out through this gap here. Bit of twine there stops them trying to get out and your pot's in the water. Okay, right, I'll show you now, nearing to the end. I've finished boring you. How to put your strop on here. Right. Firstly, when we're going through here, if you try and put it over the rubber, it just stops it scrubbing on your twine. Through the bottom there, and back through there. Loop it over like so, and go through here. So, over again, through to the left again. And I'll give you a nice tight knot there. Split open your rope and put that through. Even a couple of times, it don't matter. Right. Then you want to put the other end through your spinner. And then you want to be going through again. I'm going to struggle to get over the rubber on this one, so I'm just going to have to go through the next one. It's not putting through there. Through again. And through there. 0.3 on these. But just on these ends here where you've gone through, I just like to tie them off with a bit of small stuff, just to make sure that isn't going to work its way out. I've heard of people just using a bit of tape before, but I think tape will come off in the water, whereas twine's not going to let off. So like so. Do the same on the other side, on here, and then all we need to do now is, I think it's quite important, about 5 or 6 inches from the end of the spinner, I always tie this end off here. Yeah. Some people don't bother, but the theory behind this is, if one of your strops breaks, you're just going to pull the spinner through. It should, in theory, still have, if this one breaks, it should still be able to pull your pot up by this side. If you don't tie it off, you'll just pull your rope through your spinner. So that's the theory of it anyway. Anyway, at the end, as you can see, you should pretty much now have your complete pot all ready to go in the water. The only thing that's left to do, which is important, is put in your bait band or your bait bag. They're your two options. I prefer to use a bag, mainly because I think they fish longer. The bait doesn't get eaten as quick. This is a bait bag that I've fitted here. I get them from the Chandler's Complete, usually about £1 or so, something like that, and I just at the back here, There you go. Quite simply, open up, hand in, put your bait in, and then I just tie a tightening loop there with a prawn hook on just to hook on the top. Straightforward. If you're going to do these, I always cut 2 meshes out this way and 2 meshes out that way. So end up with a big diamond or a square. Just make sure you can get your hand in. You don't want to make your hole too small, so if you're struggling with your hands cold at sea, it's going to be quite difficult trying to get your hands in here if it's too tight. So that's basically how I do them, just tie them off in the far corner. Straightforward to do. The only other option that you can do is put a band in, which you'll find a lot of the older lads do, which goes from here, from the top bow there, straight down to the bottom somewhere down here. So whichever way you fancy doing it, that's up to you really.